Because content informs, but rooms transform. There's a difference between watching a tutorial and sitting next to someone fixing your system in real time. Because most entrepreneurs don't have a lack of ideas problem, they have a sequence problem. So we walk them through the real tech stack. Because if you're going to put people in a room, you better deliver transformation, not motivation. I can motivate people, but I'm not a motivator. If you're thinking about hosting your own live event, do it. Let me say something straight. If you even have a tiny voice in your head saying, I think I want to do a live event someday, do it. The future belongs to rooms and labs and workshops and communities, not isolated entrepreneurs trying to figure it out alone at midnight.
Jessica breaks down what really happened at Digital Shift Live Atlanta, what worked, what went wrong, and why live rooms are becoming one of the biggest growth advantages in 2026. If you've been consuming content but still feel stuck, this episode will show you why the room changes everything.
Hey there, and welcome back to the Digital Shift. I am Jessica Green, CEO and founder of Self-Made Hub, business strategist, mentor, and unapologetic systems and strategy nerd. If you're new here, I help entrepreneurs build automated business systems that make money while they go live their lives. And today we're going to talk about Atlanta because we just wrapped up the Digital Shift Live at the very end of January. And I really wanted to tell you the real story. What went great, what surprised us, what went wrong, and why live rooms are about to matter more and more in 2026 and moving forward. Because Atlanta was not just a great event, it was a shift for us. There's something that happens when entrepreneurs stop watching and start building. The room changes everything. Even though we're a digital, virtual company, live events hit different. And in 2026, they're just going to keep growing. So let's be honest. Your brain has watched 1,000 reels about funnels and automations and tech, 1,000 YouTube tutorial videos about go high level, and you're still stuck because content informs, but rooms transform. There's a difference between watching a tutorial and sitting next to someone fixing your system in real time. People don't trust screenshots anymore. They trust results they can see with their own eyes, and information doesn't change business. Implementation does, right? So let me tell you a little bit about what actually happened in Atlanta, okay? So are you ready? I'm going to give you some down and dirty and why you need to be planning events for your business too. So here's the real picture. People mapping out offers they'd been thinking about for 2 years. Natasha helping people rewrite headlines while someone is crying happy tears because their message finally made sense. That was a game changer for us in 2025. So we were hoping to really help people with that in 2026. We weren't drawing funnels on whiteboards or anything like that, but we were teaching order of operations, what to build first, what not to touch yet, what to delete, what they could simplify, because most entrepreneurs don't have a lack of ideas problem. They have a sequence problem. So we walk them through the real tech stack, where their leads could be leaking at. We did audits of every person's business that was in that room, where their follow-up was breaking, where their messaging was confusing. And we showed them how to integrate our lead extraction and automation process. We call it social sync, step by step, not theory, their real business. There was tons of like hallway conversations and dinner conversations solving 6-month problems in like 10 minutes. After hours, dinners, we were going out and hanging out with some of our crowd. And there's people who told us like, I've been stuck with this for like a year. And today it finally clicked. Because clarity is super contagious. Lots of people were having this happen. Momentum spreads when you're surrounded by builders and real entrepreneurs, like willing to do just about anything for their business. And nobody left confused about what to build next. The funny part, Natasha and I used to run an event company years ago. Logistics, staging, vendor, chaos, run of show, all of it. So when we planned Digital Shift Live, we weren't guessing at what we were doing. We knew how to structure a room so people actually walk out with decisions made and a build plan in hand. But even then, We booked this event 3 different times before January finally happened. Yes, you heard that right. We had planned it for like September, then November, and then January. Just scheduling conflicts, venue timing issues, speaker calendars, life, just stuff that happens when you're trying to run a real company and you decide you also want to put in a live event because you used to own an event company. So why not, right? 3 times. And every time we said, not yet, because if you're going to put people in a room, you better deliver transformation, not motivation. I can motivate people, but I'm not a motivator. I believe in real roll up your sleeves, get your hands dirty. Let's build, let's make certain that people who paid money via ticket and travel and being in that room would have clarity walking out. They would have a plan walking out. No matter if they decided to continue working with us or not, they weren't going to just have content and motivation. You better help them see exactly what to build next, what we can help them build in the right order so they don't create tech debt that haunts them for the next 2 years. I've seen too much tech debt for my time, and we didn't want that anymore for people. So that's what Atlanta was all about. If you didn't get to attend this one, maybe you'll be able to attend our next one. But I want to talk to you about a couple of different things too, like just like what we did there, why we did it, and if you were thinking about running your own event, why you should do it. Okay. So what made it successful? It was definitely systems, not motivation. People came with laptops. We built, we mapped out follow-ups. We cleaned up tech stacks. We didn't inspire people. We equipped them. We simplified instead of adding. Most people walked in juggling 10 different apps and tools that they're still using, and we helped them figure out which ones they could delete. We clarified offers where offers were still a little bit scattered. We got set on one build path for the next 90 days, and we cut out the noise. Scale will come from subtracting sometimes, and that's what we help people do. Mentorship plus the machine. Someone built automation. Natasha fixed the copy. We tested. You can Google strategy. You can't Google momentum though, and scalability. Hey, quick pause before we continue, because if you're listening to this podcast and thinking, I love the strategy, but the tech still feels overwhelming, you're not alone. That's why Tech Savvy School exists. Tech Savvy School is where entrepreneurs learn how to actually build the systems behind a scalable business. Funnels, automations, workflows, and tools explained in plain language, step by step. No guessing, no duct taping platforms together anymore, just clarity and confidence with the tech that supports your growth. This podcast helps you think differently about your business. Tech Savvy School helps you implement what you're learning. If you're ready to stop feeling stuck on the tech side of things in your business, visit techsavvyschool.com and explore the trainings. All right, let's get back to the episode. And we want to help people make their businesses scalable. There's also accountability in the room. People kind of locked arms with each other. People stood up and said, I'm launching this by March 1st. And when you say it out loud, you kind of build faster. I know a couple people had challenges that they were working on building, and they set dates to it, and they're not backing down, and they're putting all of the pieces together so that they can do that. And getting in the room helped force that. So listen, I'm a numbers girl. Let's get to some numbers talk, some real talk, some data. Okay. So we ran meta ads. We learned a lot. We spent a bit, but I'll be honest with you, it wasn't really, as long as we were going to break even on ad spend with ticket sales, it wasn't about the ticket sales that we were trying to make money. If we were, the tickets would have been a whole lot more expensive, but we spent about $5,200 in ads. Not terrible. We could really only put 30 people in the room. And let me tell you why I did that. We could have had a 500 person event. I mean, the space we could have rented could have been bigger than that. That was a lot to commit to for our first event with this company. Like I said, we used to own an event company. So we've made all the mistakes. Like we already know how to run an event and how not to lose your butt on it. Okay. We ran meta ads, spent about $5,200. We could only sell a max of 30 tickets because that is the room size that we chose so that we could fill it, but not overestimate and then end up in the hole. Okay. Love walking through that with people, how you do that so that you don't end up losing money. So the ticket revenue covered ad spend, event venue costs, and most of our logistics. Okay. But we had to travel, Natasha and I and our team, and so we put 30 people in the room. So yes, break even ROI on tickets and logistics. But total event sales into our tech savvy school is where we won. Okay. Because events aren't about ticket profit, not in our business. They're about lifetime value of these customers, these new people that are now entering our business. We had about 30 registered, around 25 showed up every single day. Quite a few bought offers immediately, maybe a couple more coming soon. Not a viral event. We weren't looking for that for our first one. I've made mistakes where I just wanted my very first event to go viral and then I ended up losing money on it. But high quality buyers, people who actually build and are taking their business serious inside of Tech Savvy School now. All right, what went wrong? We started ads probably a little too late. I feel like we could have, and it's always would have, could have, should have, right? I feel like we could have had a bigger room if we would have sold a little bit longer, but we needed to run ads and test things and see who our audience was, where they were coming in from, were they going to travel, where did we need to focus on local? There's stuff we just needed to learn this round. And boy, did we learn a ton. We just need to tighten up our messaging. We needed to tighten up our avatar. We wasted time not just launching it because we had 3 iterations of this, but I'm glad we did. I can't say that that was a mistake. We want a bigger room next time. We want more people and more of our mentorship team there to do breakout sessions so that, you know, you have different levels of skill set from all of the clients or customers. So we want to make sure that we're touching on different levels of the skill set there, right? So lesson learned, but I can't say I would have done anything differently on this first event. But the next event will be bigger. It will be even smoother, and it will be in Michigan. We're not going to travel next time. We're going to have people come to the metro area around us because we feel like we can do a better job if we don't also have to travel, and we can reduce the cost of the event if we don't also have to travel and stay in hotels, thus making the ticket prices even lower. So we're excited to do our next one. We don't have dates picked yet, but we will keep you posted. Because we want to keep optimizing and keep seeing people in person and meeting some of our hub members that we don't ever get to see in person. So listen, if you're thinking about hosting your own live event, do it. Let me say something straight. If you even have a tiny voice in your head saying, I think I want to do a live event someday, do it. Not when your business is perfect, not when you feel 100% ready, because you never will, and not when you have a giant audience. This helps grow audience. Do it now, because hosting a live event will grow your business faster than almost anything else you can do. And here's why. Trust happens faster in person. Online people will watch you. In person, people believe you, touch you, feel you, see you. Make sure you're not just some AI robot. When someone sits across from you and asks questions to see how you think and watches you solve a problem real time, trust compresses. What takes about 6 months online can happen in 2 days in a room, okay? That's why our Atlanta attendees bought faster, implemented faster, and stayed longer, because proximity builds belief. It just does. Your messaging will get in better instantly. You learn more in one live Q&A than 50 Instagram polls, promise. So you hear where people are confused, what words don't land, what they actually want. You can refine your offer live. Natasha rewrote headlines in Atlanta because we could hear the pain. That feedback loop, it's just priceless. Number 3, you become the authority overnight. When you host a room, you stop being someone online and you become the leader, the one who organized the space, held the container, guided the transformation, and your brand jumps 5 levels in credibility, and not because of hype, but because of the experience level and seeing you in person. Number 4, events create high quality buyers, no tire kickers, builders, people who invest time and travel. They're serious. That's why our Atlanta conversions were smaller in number, but massive in quality. Events aren't about ticket profit. They're about lifetime value. Remember that. You're not trying, unless you are. I mean, some people are trying to sell tickets to make money on the tickets. Those, to me, always end up being a little bit lackluster because they already made their money on their moneymaker, and then you have to worry about the content that's going to be provided throughout the event. Number 5, you learn what your audience actually needs. Your audience will tell you they'll tell you what your next offer needs to be. Their real struggles, their real words. That's how you build better programs, better funnels, better products. Events are market research with hugs. And you can get live testimonials right there on site. We got a bunch while we were there. People were glad to do it. Number 6, communities happen instantly. Online communities take months to warm up. In a room, it happens in one lunch. Partnerships form, friendships form, accountability groups form, and suddenly your students are helping each other, not just relying on you. And that's how they scale. Then they can do business together too. It's amazing. Number 7, mentorship compresses time. Someone stuck for a year gets clarity in 1 hour because you're there in person, because they can ask, and because you see the real problem. Rooms save time, and time is the only asset we cannot buy back. Number 8, makes you a better business owner. Hosting an event forces you to clarify your framework, organize what you teach because you're going to be right there and in person and doing it in real time, and build your systems. Know your numbers. It sharpens your thinking like nothing else can. Now, how you should use tech to run a smooth event. This is important. Okay. We run a tech company. So this part was easy for us. It may not be as easy for you, but that's where you can get some help from your friends over here at Self-Made and the Tech Savvy Mentors. So here's the part that some people get scared off by. They think events are chaos, and they don't have to be. If you use tech right, your events run like a machine. And here's how we do it inside the Self-Made Hub. Number 1, ticket sales, checkout. One system, ticket page, checkout, automatic confirmation, all inside the Self-Made Hub. Go high level, right? We sell tickets, we add tags, we send confirmation emails, add to event pipeline, no spreadsheets, no chaos. Step 2, ads and tracking. Run ads to one page. Track your funnel stats. We iterated that funnel 3 or 4 times as we were selling tickets via ads because we could see what was working. We could see what they wanted. We could see what they didn't click on, and we could measure all the data, all because it was all living inside of one platform. Go high level. Okay. Cost per ticket, show up rate, conversions to offers. We tracked our Atlanta numbers down to the dollar and in real time every day. So we could make changes, switches, and adjustments on the fly. Events are data gold mines, right? Okay. Step number 3, reminder automations. This is huge. People don't show up because life happens. So we send email reminders, SMS reminders, calendar links, travel tips, packing lists, all automated. Your future self will thank you for having all of this because they're going to ask all these questions anyways. Step 4, event pipeline and CRM. Every attendee goes into a pipeline before, during event, after, and follow-up. We know who attended, who didn't, who needs help, who's ready to buy. No guessing. Step 5, course content and assets. We gave them also a digital course to go along with this for when they got home and that they could rely on to check back into. Slides, templates, recordings, worksheets, all delivered in one member portal. No hunting for links, no check your inbox, one login. That's part of why our students actually implemented after Atlanta. You can also create a community for them if you want to. Step 6, follow-up systems. This is where events make money. After the event, we run automated email nurture, booking links, offer invitations, personal check-ins, because momentum is highest right after the room. It's actually highest right in the room, but you definitely want to be capitalizing on the after the room. So don't waste that. And then the final truth, if you're waiting to host an event because you think you need a huge audience, you don't. Start with 10 people, then 20, then 50. What matters is transformation, not crowd size. And listen, the future belongs to rooms because entrepreneurs are done guessing alone. So if you've been thinking about hosting a live event, just do it. You will grow faster. Your students will win faster and your business will finally feel real in a whole new way. Okay. The future does belong to rooms and labs and workshops and communities, not isolated entrepreneurs trying to figure it out alone at midnight. Proximity will accelerate the belief system that they have in you. Mentorship will compress the time, and the right room can save you a year of growth in your business. So let me ask you, are you building alone? Are you consuming more than you're implementing? Are you stuck watching YouTube University and tutorials instead of fixing your follow-up? Because if that's you, you don't need another video, you need a room. Even if it's a virtual room with us live, okay? If you want to experience what happened in Atlanta, and it might be too late, right, to come to that live event, and maybe you can sign up for our next one. However, We have great virtual in the room stuff coming up soon. You can register for one of our free workshops at self-made.biz/workshop, or even better, our next 5-day challenge, which is self-made.biz/challenge. Spend 5 days with us. We just got done with one of those, and I'm going to do a podcast episode on how that worked out, so you guys can see behind the curtain on that too. So come build with us, because replay culture will not build your business. Rooms will, in person or virtual. Momentum isn't accidental, it's engineered. Scale does not happen alone. And 2026 belongs to the builders. The room changes everything. If you're getting value from these conversations, don't let this be the only episode that you listen to. Every episode of this podcast is designed to help you build a smarter business, one with real systems behind the scenes, not just ideas, motivation, or hustle. We break down what's actually working right now when it comes to automation, content, follow-up, and scaling without the burnout. If you want to see how all of this comes together in real life, I highly recommend watching the Self-Made Hub demo. Inside the Self-Made Hub, you'll see how entrepreneurs turn content into leads, and leads into conversations, and conversations into consistent sales using simple automated systems that don't feel overwhelming or cold. You can watch the demo anytime at self-made.biz/demo. Then queue up another episode, because the shift doesn't happen from one conversation. It happens when you start connecting all the dots. And I'll see you in the next episode.